Right, thank you for that one, Jake and Mark. We are here for now, I would say, the pre-morning radio show from Jess and Luke. But we are here, of course, for, well, I'm here for the next two races anyway. One with Mark, who's quickly just gone to go and do something. But doing this for Baku, Mark basically doing the absolute graveyard shift. So massive respect to him for it. I think he's going to be staying up anyway because he's got a race after Canada, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so absolute graveyard shift with all of those guys, and then after this will be the inaugural and the inevitable wet race around USA, where it's Jack and Jack doing it, myself and Ariel Nolan. So that's a bit of an interesting one as well. And then yeah, I said that's when it moves on to the breakfast show from Luke and Jess. So that's why I'm talking relatively quiet right now, because I'm pretty sure everybody on my street is fast asleep. They probably wouldn't appreciate it if I started shouting and screaming at my TV because I'm doing this for a charity event. Don't think I'll get a good enough and a valid reason for it. So talking it nice and calm, nice and mellow, bringing it down a little bit, you know. I do need a drink though. I just had to get straight in here, so yeah, may as well get straight on into it. The qualifying should be starting very, very shortly, and then of course we can get this one straight underway. Hopefully we can keep this nice and clean as well. Hope you guys enjoyed my little performance over in Russia. You know, doing it on the default setup, finishing in P7, so it's not too bad. Can I get a higher? That's the best you're getting out of me, Jav. Um, so yeah, hey Mike, good evening. And I believe Mark has just come back before we've even started one-shot qualifying. Maybe not. Yeah, we're still just waiting for all of these guys just to pick their setups. Don't do what I did and pick a default setup like an absolute idiot. But there we go. So we're getting qualifying now underway, and I'm going to ride on board with this Baron Waterman that actually was done their first or their last challenge as well. So we're on board with Ariel Valter. Done a very good comeback from last on the grid last last race, and ended up finishing second. So appreciate very massive congrats to him. Sander has retired from the session because I think this is their track to start last at for the ship fingers. So they're going to be starting at the back of the grid. Valter just a little graze on the wall, quite close with XL Dylan. Sam Corby though is the one that's currently leading it in this one-shot qualifying. But Ariel Valter doing a nice job at the moment in P3. Dylan, Sam Corby and Valter all I think very, very, very close together. And yeah, as I said, I'm quite intrigued to see how the rest of this qualifying is going to pan out. Coming through the castle section for ride on board with the Dutchman of Ariel Valter, and you just see through the castle section just how tight and twisty and narrow it is throughout all of that. And yeah, as I said, very, very interesting coming through there. Dylan, I think, must have had a little bit of slacked a little bit through there because he's dropped down into 5th position. But Corby, Lars and Cameron all jumping up ahead of him. Lars now in the lead on this one-shot qualifying, but Ariel Valter is still doing quite nicely in 2nd. Cameron is actually in 3rd and Corby's in 4th. But again, it's about that run down towards coming through this tight and twisty S section. I say tight and twisty, it's fully flat out. So normally I'd say that 90-degree left-hander is technically the final corner where you have to slow down. The rest of it full flat unless you get yourself a little bit of wing damage, which is not ideal. But yeah, coming up towards the line, who is chucked it on pole position? It is SXT Lars. Cameron is 2nd. Ariel Valter is 3rd. And I think there was someone that was just completely different. I think whoever was the other Alpine jumped up into 4th position, I think that was. Yeah, TTG Trinity into 4th, Sam Corby in 5th, Dylan in 6th, Waffles in 7th, Maverick in 8th, Rosé in 9th, Ginger in 10th, Vaporline in 11th, Arnold in 12th. For ERT, I'm quite surprised Arnold's actually down there. Foxy Red is in 13th, Kelvin 14th, 15th is Speed Knighton, Dutch Missile 16th, Aspect in 17th, Mike in 18th, Kavudi in 19th, and Zander, as I said, was just his track that he had to start last at, so he DNF'd straight at the beginning, which is fine, and he'll be starting at last and see how many places he can make up from there, Mark.
Absolutely. I don't know why I'm sounding like Sean Dyche again, but I just need to compose myself, get through this. And yeah, I'm just wondering if anyone can hear, if anyone's listening, if anyone has the results from Baku,
I've got moved from Russia.
Russia. Yes, we've got the results from Baku. Yeah, I'm very impressed. Have you got them from Russia? That'd be fantastic. I think someone's put them up. Because then I can do the standings while you're at some point during this race.
That's fine. I thought I grabbed them, I can't lie, but obviously I didn't put them in there quick enough. So I'll grab them really quickly for you whilst we're just waiting for everybody just to mosey on their way with their setups and stuff like that. And even through the quick formation lap as well. So bear with me for 1 second whilst I do that. Obviously I'll see if I can get some like updated live standards for you guys as well. Just so at least then you're not sort of kept in any sort of suspense, if you know what I mean.
So, Steward submission thread is beautifully quiet, may I add.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
It is dead as a doornail. It's fantastic. I don't think we've had any proper steward inquiries for a couple of hours, which is really appreciated, guys, genuinely, because that was quite literally causing a sleepless night. Oh, piss off. No, just wrote it. Just saying hi. Go away.
So there's one lot, and I'll just grab the second lot for you now. There we go. Results for Baku. Baku for... You should get me to start saying it now. Yeah, interesting.
So, what's up? Someone's
something in the in one of the team chats. I don't know if you want to have a quick look.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems fair. Spirit of the event and all that.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Results. So obviously we had Hype. It was 25 points. Very good result from him.
What, Ecos won a race?
No, that was Vapor.
Oh, that was Hyper. Oh, I thought you said Hype. Oh, that's fair enough.
Tell you what, Relentless picking up 44 points from that race.
Yeah, that's huge for them. That's huge for them. And they picked up 50 points in their double points as well with Nathan in their second race. I think Relentless there's a chance Relentless could be winning this event, you know. Just putting it out there, you know. They're out there for the guys in the graveyard shift.
Absolutely. The atmosphere in these streams at this time is what are we doing with our life? Yeah,
that's
no,
exactly what I was just looking at. Yep, I couldn't agree with you more, man.
I mean, this is way more upbeat than last time.
Oh yeah.
Than, like, honestly. We had like lobby glitches. Oh, I wanted to throw my honestly wanted to throw myself.
You took a walk. I was there just sweating. Oh man. I think that was the only reason why I was like I didn't really want to do it again this year, but I you know, I thought stuff happens. Like it can just happen. So there's no point in just like throwing a tiff over it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the race. We've got 5 red lights coming on, and it is lights out. And away we go for race number 15 of 22 in the event. And Lars getting a very good start indeed. Right, Ariel Walter going around the outside of Ecos Cameron, and I think has got that
Ginger
position
on the wall.
P2. Well, they're saying that they're both still side by side. Ginger, as you said, going off into a wall. Walter does manage to get that position in the end. There is a car that's going relatively slowly. I think that's Kelvin. Must have had a little bit of a, I think it might have been like 2 wide or even 3 wide. Coming through turn number 2, but looking like they're all sort of lining up single file line at the moment, just keeping an eye on it. As all know, there was a car that just went veering into the wall. I think that was Vapor Lion down in 17th position, and you can see they're just riding it 2 by 2 like Noah's Ark once again. Aspect and Kavuni both going side by side, coming through turn 4, and Kavuni gets the move done on Vaporline. So Vaporline not had a very good start whatsoever, and Lars already a second up in the lead of the race.
Well, this is really nasty. Speed Knighton is he's all over the place here. Not driving. He's got some damage, as does Kelvin. Oh, Kavudi! Oh my God! And Mike's into the wall. It's just everyone had damage, and I think the guys behind were just following. I feel really sorry for Xander. Worst race you can have the last for first one, in some senses, because there's just damage everywhere at the back of the field.
Yeah. It's difficult because you said the ghosting sometimes does, sometimes doesn't work, so it's difficult trying to, if it does work then that's fine, obviously if it doesn't work then, well, you're buggered for the rest of the race, isn't it? So at least they get to make their first stop now, but it's not exactly ideal for their race. So just running on board with Zay now, side by side with TTG Waffles coming up into towards turn 1, just right behind XL Dylan. Zay looks like he's got a lot more strength on speed in comparison to the TTG driver. Saying that though, Zay trying to go around the outside, squeezes Waffles out almost into the wall, and Zay now just trying to keep it down the inside, coming through the left, 90-degree left-hander in turn 2. Zay still keeping it sort of behind from Waffles. Waffles went around the outside into turn 2, as I think Arnold had a little bit of a slide coming out of turn 2. Zay now trying to go back around the outside of Waffles, and Waffles goes defensive on the inside and keeps that position from the Nordic E racing driver. All this battling is allowing Dylan just to get away from those guys ever so slightly, and it's just compromising them to keep within the DRS train. Saying that though, Lars absolutely shot off in front of, he has already shot off in front of everyone.
Yeah, he's done very well just to have this start, to be fair to him. Very well. Fair play to him.
Indeed. People said my mic is a bit quiet in comparison to the game volume. I know how to fix that really quickly. We do that, and that should be fine. I'm definitely sat back in my chair. Yeah, no, you are definitely correct. Rizé just almost going for a move on Waffles. Fall at P7 doesn't manage to. Maverick as well, just sort of hanging back on the back of these guys now as well. So Maverick maybe trying to look to capitalise on a move from all of these guys as well. It's been a bit of a spin out. In fact, that's actually Zander on his last to first race at the castle section. Has DNF'd. I'm quickly going on board with Vaporline. It's right in the middle of the track. Hopefully that's ghosted. I'm right on board with Mike. Yeah, it's definitely ghosted. That's fine. But yeah, there's a lot more moves that are about to go down as well here, Mike. Waffles still trying to just get that move done on Rizé from when he got an overtaken originally. Waffles gives a little bit of a nudge to the back of Rizé, and I think I might have just seen a little bit of something. I don't know if that was a bit of something flying off, or if that was just a few sparks on the back of Rizé's car. I don't know, it looked like it was a white thing that flew off, but I wasn't too sure if that was his car or if that was a spark.
Could have. It's so tough around here. It's so easy just to ping part of your wing, especially at this time. You know, a lot of these guys have had no sleep. Ugh, wouldn't want to be doing this.
Oh, I can't wait for Canada at 6:30 in the morning. Ecos Cameron still all over the back of Ariel Vartan. Obviously DRS has only just been enabled on this lap, so they would have had the DRS going in towards turn number 3, but Cameron not going to be close enough to getting any sort of move done. Vartan doing a good job just holding these guys up, but Lars, as I said, completely shot off from the rest of this grid already, and I suppose it's not necessarily a bad thing, just keeping him at arm's length, I suppose, as there's been a crash at castle section. That is the Dutch missile who has gone plummeting into the castle section. Hopefully he doesn't get disqualified because he's trying to turn around at the most awkward place, and yeah, I think he's managed to get that going now in the end. So Dutch missile probably losing a little bit of front wing as the IFR driver, but yeah, now dropping down into 16th position. Very unfortunate for him. He could take maybe another set of softs and then go for mediums towards the end of the race if need be, or medium and then a set of softs as well. But yeah, I assume obviously the strategy around here is probably a soft, medium, soft, if you can do soft to medium, or even soft to hard around here. So yeah, I won't be surprised. Soft, medium, soft is what we'll be seeing. Speaking of that, Rizé into the pits from P7.
Yeah, this is pretty wild now. To be fair, I'm just updating the standings here. I need to delete the formula.
Oh dear.
Rubbish. No, 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 no. Like, don't worry. You get what I mean. I haven't deleted the formula from the sheet. Just visit so I can view the standings. It's just come up with the ranges.
I see. You try copy and paste it, right? Okay, I see. I kind of see. Ecos Cameron still just all over the back of Ariel Valter. Again, I'm just trying to see what, of course, is going on because I think there must have been a little bit of a crash with the stream. So again, apologies about that. I don't understand why this keeps on happening. Hopefully, this doesn't keep on happening because this is just really irritating, especially at 4:30 in the morning. So yeah, I genuinely don't understand what is going on with it, but hopefully we get to the bottom of it at some given point. But yeah, I mean, as I said, even in the meantime, Ecos Cameron trying to go for a move on Ariel Valta. I've just realised SXT Lars has come into the pit. He's emerged though, only a second behind VER Kelvin. So he's, despite trying to go for a bit of an undercut on Valta and Cameron, I don't know if this will pay out for him because he's going to be behind a back marker who's yet to make a pit stop and he started on a set of medium tyres.
This could be a monolith to Lars in a sense. This could sum him up. It sums up his race if he can keep his cool and accept that people aren't just going to jump out of his way because he's quick. Probably wins the race.
Yeah.
Tries to rush it. Tries to do anything rash. Probably doesn't win the race.
No, and I agree. I think that's going to be the difference maker of it. So we'll keep on riding on board with that as well. As you can see, Lars very, very close to the back of Kelvin already for the Olimpo team. Have we got any sort of maybe like small little updates for the standings at the moment, Mark, or have we anything like that?
We do. We do. So this is all very provisional because we haven't taken away some of the scores here, as we've got Lars on. Just hold off for a sec to see what happens here. Yep, he benefited from the fact Kelvin lost DRS, but still kept it clean, kept it clever, and he is going to be. He'll also have the DRS. Really, he didn't get slowed at all, which could really help him come out in a nice little spot. But he has got Kavudi ahead of him. Which isn't going to help matters.
No, without a doubt. Yeah, so Lars needs to try and get this move done on Kavudi. I don't think he's obviously going to try anything. He's not close enough in towards turn 3, but I know that's never sort of stopped Lars before. However, I don't think he's going to go for anything to try and mess up his race essentially, because he's already in about 4.5 seconds up in the lead of this race, the net race lead, shall I say. Trinity, by the way, interestingly enough, jumped up ahead of Cameron and Valter. So I don't know where that came from for the Bottle Job Racing boys, but he's now up to a net P2. So yeah, I'm quite intrigued on how this is going to go. Rosé and Valter both side by side coming up towards the castle section. Rosé just given that position from Valter. Dylan also trying to maybe try and follow suit as well. But yeah, I think Rosé just going a little bit too wide through there. Lars got the move done coming up towards the or through like the little bump down the hill. So Lars is now up into 3rd position. Kavudi will get that DRS off of the back of the Dutchman though, from the looks of things. So he'll be able to at least get dragged along from that. And he'll get the second lot of DRS actually as well if he can maintain to stick with that within that 1 second after turn number 1. Apologies if you start hearing me yawning. I'm getting quite tired now. I'm not going to lie. There's still another 9.5 more hours to go. 8.5 more hours to go even. But yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit tired. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's getting tough. Get some caffeine in you of some sorts if you've got any left in your possession.
I can't lie, I haven't even started on the caffeine yet. So, still with this amount of energy, I'd not say it's not too bad.
So, standings. Very provisional. Lots to potentially get taken away and added. The battle that we all care about and that we all want to know about. Tic Tac and Co are in last place by 8 points to Esports Wales.
Oh wow.
That's all for the standings. No, we have Relentless are winning.
Ooh.
Relentless are in the lead. Relentless have 283 points. 279 to the Absolute Units. In third place, my understanding is where these aren't in direct order. I think it's NER. So Nordic E-Racing 222.
Wow.
And then followed by ERT with 202. And then it is IFR on 198. 194 apiece for Bottle Job Racing and QBR. Vapor Esports on 177. Very good effort from them, but they are just losing out to Excel, who've got 185. Humble Squad 161. Then these might not be in order now. I'm not going to be completely honest with you because I'm losing it. Team Vingers 157. Ecos 143, but losing out to the Team Has-Beens, who've got 148. 100. Bloody don't know.
29,
BK,
I think. Yeah, about the Baku hours.
NLR on 116. TSE on 103. Yeah, why not?
Team Speed, yeah.
VOR on what's a VOR? Oh, VOR Nifos. Sorry, I'm losing it. So, is that right? 94 points. Esports Wales on 81, and the Wooden Spoon going to Tic Tac and Co as it stands.
So top three as it stands, like you said, Relentless, the Absolute Units. Oh, excuse me. So Relentless in 283, Absolute Units in 279. They're basically in a class of their own at the moment, and then Nordic E-Racing on 222. Usually Nordic are, I would say, more towards the mid-pack when we've done these events in the past. So for them to be in third is quite insane to me, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, someone's round.
Oh, certainly
Waffles.
is. Yeah, TTG Waffles for the VOR Who Nifos team. They are in, well, they've dropped down to now 14th position, unfortunately, for Waffles. Probably got himself a little bit of wing damage, just a little bit further behind as well. Trinity and Rizé both just trading places as well. So Trinity for the Bottle Job Racing team, and Rizé for Nordic E-Racing, just getting that move done on him indeed. Sam Corby all over the back of these two as well. Mr. CRG Gamer looking to try and maybe capitalise on a mistake from one of these two. You can already see as well, Rizé got that red flashing light on the back of his car. So, excuse me, unfortunately he's not going to, well, he's managed to actually defend from Trinity, interestingly enough, as Arnold getting the move done on Foxy Red. And not only that, I think Maverick was trying to look for a move on Foxy Red as well, but just has to stay behind him for now. It's quite surprising, Zander actually ended up DNFing in the oh no, sorry, I did see that he did DNF because it was at the castle section that he DNF, wasn't it? So very, very unfortunate indeed for Zander, and hopefully you know, they can try and capitalise on a few other races, shall I say. So yeah, very unfortunate for obviously what's going on with those guys at the moment. But yeah, Foxy Red still all over the back of Arnold. Alt Maverick just trying to follow suit. And then there's this one massive long train from Kavudi all the way down to XL Dylan, from second all the way down into 8th position. So just trying to think of who we may see go for some sort of move. In fact, you know what? I really quickly need to dash over to the toilet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run on board with Sam Corby, because it looks like he's going to go for a move on TTG Trinity using his ERS as well. I shall be back in a very short moment. Mark, take it away.
Here we go. So Sam Corby is going to make that move, and he's going to get a lot of resistance from Trinity. Trinity's going to keep it down. The inside Kavudi's all over the road here with Ecos Cameron and Risa getting kind of past him, but looking a little bit messy up there. Trinity always Waffles as DNF'd, so he is out, and that's a big blow for those guys. But we're right on board with Sam, because this is what we are looking at. He's catching up to the back of Kavudi, but he's just not got the right kind of pace. Ecos Camera looked like he might have tapped the wall there on the inside, but Sam Corby needs to get past Kavudi. If he doesn't, he could get cut adrift. Kavudi staying out on these mediums, Oh, he's just. He needs to be careful. He's going to cost himself time. I mean, I wouldn't look for it here. Sam Corby, I think, was just frustrated at this point. He's in danger of losing DRS. Oh, he cost Cameron with a big moment. Not quite, but I'll tell you what, Sam. It's a big blow for Sam, actually. Real big blow for Sam. And TTT Trinity could be looking to make a move. I don't think he is. He's not going to do it there. That'd be insane, but really not help Sam Corby's cause at all. And Kavudi is outside, I think, of DRS, which is not going to help matters at all. Sam Corby, I'm on the back of him, and will get past, but yeah, that's a damaging for his race.
Yeah, so Sam Corby now back up into 4th position, and just making moves all the way through the field. TCG Trinity trying to follow suit as well. Mr. Corby, well, as I say, he needs to try and get a move on to get back into DRS of Cameron, but he's already in DRS of Cameron, so that's pretty good at least. And he might even try and go for this move on Cameron, because he's a bit close, but I think Trinity is even closer to Corby, so he needs to maybe just keep an eye out on behind him. But yeah, I think at the moment everyone's just going to follow suit coming through turn number 3. Cameron in P3. Rizé managed to get into P2. Was there any pit stoppers that I kind of missed?
Probably. I think Kelvin has just come in. I think Ivor's made his 2nd stop, so Ivor is your net race leader technically, because he's done both his stops. Everyone else is actually on course to be disqualified. So Esports Wales currently winning this race.
Yeah, indeed. Sam Corby, what an absolute move that was from the absolute unit himself. Going down the inside, just at the sharp right-hander. Don't know what it's called, but sharp right-hander just before the castle section. He got the move done on Ecos Cameron, and gotta say, I was pretty impressed with that one. So very nicely done from Sam, and now up into a podium position. And I'm sure the absolute units are quite happy to see that he's making his way up through the field. Probably hoping for a higher position, but nonetheless, still doing a very good job, especially where he had started. And now everybody else just behind him. Cameron basically still leading him in this train. Sam almost without out of that DRS from Cameron already. But Cameron's just going to be using some of that ERS just to try and catch back up. However, I think Trinity, if we go on board with him now, he's going to try and go for this move around the outside of the E-Clause driver. He's going to keep the outside 4 in, going in towards turn 1. Gets the nice racing line coming out of there. E-Clause Cameron, I think, might just have to back out of that one. Yeah, he certainly does. TCG Trinity still has that DRS to his avail, and he is using it to catch back up to the back of Sam Corby, as there's been another spinner further down the field. I think that is that Vapor Lion, if I'm not mistaken, or it might be Aspect, sorry, down in 15th position. But even further down, Valter now getting the move done on Ecos Cameron. So Cameron, unfortunately for him, has just lost 3 places in a matter of about 4 corners. So Cameron not exactly having a good time in the middle stages of this race, but hopefully towards the latter stages of the race he might try and make up for it. Obviously, as I said, a lot of these guys are probably going to go on a fresh set of soft tyres, so we'll keep an eye out on that one.
Yeah, awful up for Aspect. Not that he's particularly enjoying his trip around here. Oh, Dutch missile in the wall. Just caught him going into the wall, but he's fine. He's probably got a bit of wing damage, but he'll live on. Yeah, Sam really been hurt there from Kavudi. I wonder what Kavudi's doing here. I wonder if he's... I hope he knows it's a 2-stop. If you're listening, Kavudi, it's a mandatory 2-stop. As we have someone in the wall again?
I think that was Speed Knighton. I think he was... I don't know what had happened with him there, but yeah, I think he just went straight into the wall on the right-hand side, and it doesn't look as if he's gotten himself any damage, but he's still carrying on as normal. So, yeah, as I said, I think he should be perfectly fine. Ariel Valter closing up to the back of Trinity for this 4th place. He's trying to close up to him, but backs off slightly, not going for that move. I think he's going to try and go for it in towards turn 3 though. So the relentless driver going to opt to try and go for this move. Yeah, here we go. In towards turn 3, DRS now wide open, using his ERS to try and capitalise on the Trinity. He's also using his, and straight down the inside goes the Dutchman, and into P4 he goes, up ahead of TTG Trinity. So unfortunately for Trinity, drops down into 5th position. And Dylan, I thought was also going to try and go for a move on Ecos Cameron, but unfortunately, unfortunately for Dylan, he didn't manage to get that move done. Stays down in P7, and yeah, halfway through the Baku race already. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling quite tired.
Well, I've got a race after this, so that is. Oh my God, you've got one more com.
I've got a com and I've got a race Canada as well.
No way.
Yeah, I'm up until 6:30, maybe even 7 o'clock.
Yeah, really. On that note, I'm going to go to the loo really quickly.
That's
so
fine.
I'll just leave you with the depressive noises of a man that is about to lose his own sanity from lack of sleep.
Hey, that's me.
Thanks all.
So yeah, TTG Trinity still closing up to the back of Ariel Valter on lap number 13 of 26. Trinity only about 5.5 tenths now, just behind the Dutchman, the relentless driver. I think actually might be coming into the pits. He's sort of veering off to the left, but no, he's actually going to be staying out. I thought he might have been going into the pits. He even baited me going into the pits then. But yeah, Trinity not close enough to getting the move done. He might actually do what Valter did on the last lap. Just sort of sit behind him, wait, and then on when we come to turn 3 with the DRS, he's just going to go for that move down the inside there. So let's see if that's exactly what he's going to do. DRS now wide open for the Bottle Job Racing driver in the Alpine, and in fact, he's not close enough to getting that move down in towards turn 3. Is Dylan though on the back of Ecos Cameron? No, he's not even close enough to getting the move done. So Cameron manages to maintain this P6 position up, ahead of XL Dylan. And Dylan. Unfortunately for him, just not working out. He needs to try and get this move done though, if he wants any shot of maybe even potentially having a sniff at the podium. Otherwise, I think his podium chances are basically gone. He's already about, what, I'd say 4, maybe 4.5 seconds behind Sam Corby. And I can tell you now, this is CRG Gamer. It's not very easy to catch up to. So yeah, I think Dylan might have lost out his podium shot, but I suppose you never know. Well, as I said, we keep an eye out on it anyway. So yeah, obviously, grab your midnight snacks, grab your popcorn, grab yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, I don't know, whatever you want to drink. Hot chocolate for all I care, or booze if you're Chapelele, and chill out and relax, you know. Because as I said, we are in for a long one. As I said, this is the pre breakfast show. Still riding on board with XL Dylan. He's now going to be a bit closer this time to getting this move done on Ecos Cameron. I wonder if Cameron's actually coming into the pits this lap. Yes, he is. So Ecos Cameron making the first stop. Same with Ariel Valter. Both of those guys coming in to chuck on. I'm assuming they're going to be chucking on a set of the medium tyres. Yeah, Valter's come in, chuck on mediums. Cameron is coming in, and oh, he's actually getting his front wing fixed. So he must have hit the wall quite hard somewhere. I didn't really see where, but he's chucked on a fresh set of soft compounded tyres. So he is going to be dropping. Oh, he's going to be dropping down at least behind Dylan, which is fine for him. But at the same time, that's way too early for a fresh set of soft tyres. I think if he would have waited probably 2 or 3 more laps, then I would have said go for a set of the softs. But that's a bit too early for some soft tyres, if I'm honest with you. So I think he's going to be under a bit of pressure. We're just trying to get those to the end, let alone if he gets in a battle with anybody. But a little bit further up the field, Alt Maverick very close to the back of Kavudi for that P8 position. That Aston Martin is starting to now just drop it off even more. He still hasn't made a pit stop as of yet, I don't think. No, he hasn't made a stop yet. So I don't know what Kavudi's doing. I think he must be doing a medium soft. So I'm assuming probably within the next lap or even this lap, we might see the Aston Martin make that pit stop. Surely we've got to be seeing him make a pit stop this lap.
Yeah, I don't think he. I suspect he doesn't know. Yeah, about the two-stop. Genuinely. Because otherwise it doesn't overly make much in the way of sense. But yeah, it's just tough. Arnold has made a couple of mistakes. I was right on board with him. Put Foxy Red right on his tail. It'll be a very easy overtake for him. And it's Foxy Pitts. Doesn't make use of that DRS.
Yeah, Foxy, Dylan and Trinity all into the pits. Foxy's chucking on a fresh set of mediums. Trinity, fresh set of mediums. Dylan, fresh set of mediums, which is interesting. I thought they would have gone for a set of the softs towards the end. So maybe they're just worried about getting undercut or anything like that. But yeah, that's quite surprising to me. So I thought that, I know the mediums aren't bad anyway, but I still would have thought they would have gone for a set of the soft
I did it.
tyres.
Oh no, you did it.
I tried holding it, it didn't work.
I tell you what, Ruta's going to come out with a good chance of coming out around Sam Corby, I suspect. The big danger though, the big problem he has, is that these guys are probably going to bolt on the softs. Which isn't going to help his cause for getting a podium. But it's a cracking drive from Ruta, real clutch performance. From the man who, I feel like he's dragged his team into a title fight. To be honest with you.
Well, I'd say him and Nathan primarily both have just dominated it when they've done that. Well, not dominated it, but they've done very, very well when they've done their races. Obviously, everyone likes to call Nathan Ariel Portimao, and he's managed to get the full 50 points for the double points finish. So yeah, he obviously done very well coming through that. I think he's the only one, if I'm not mistaken, that's gotten the double points finish win. The actual double points finish win. Obviously, the last to first win is the only one that's done that is Sam Corby. But still, regardless, there's been very good results for guys that have done the last to first so far. I think the person that finished the lowest at the moment is NLR Dillon in Australia, and obviously VSL Zander at this race as well. But yeah, other than that, everyone that's sort of done their last to first, they've more or less had a pretty decent result regardless. So yeah, I think it's more of, like a sign of things to come, if I'm honest. And yeah, I'm quite intrigued with how it's all going to go down. I think Gary, when he updated the standings, for some reason, didn't include a double points for Ishida, so I'm going to just change that really quickly. Because I was just looking at it. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, yeah, I said the points tally is very close throughout a lot of the teams. There's a lot of rivalries, or a lot. Well, I said rivalries. There's a lot of teams battling it out for that top 3 spot. Obviously, I think Relentless and Absolute Units are pretty much clear off that. Nordic, I think, are starting to become clear off that, so they'd be the top 3. But everyone else behind that is stupidly close.
Really close. I feel like it's a big battle that's on track with. I mean, I think we're going to see it between Sam Corby and Real Walter. It could even be down to this. There's just that small amount of points. It could come down to it as Lars stays out, Reese stays out, Corby stays out as well. Interesting. I feel like it's got to be this lap, really. Surely this lap.
Well, I think that they're going to be going on this first set of the soft tyres, so they might be longing it out until maybe about lap 20. If they do that, then they can take obviously those softs to the end. They won't die out as quickly as they would before, as Aspect and Lion at the very back of the grid, both going side by side now. Where they go side by side through the castle section. No, it's not where you want to be going side by side through. So I'm assuming Aspect Lion just sort of backed out of that one and just allowed him to go past. Kelvin and Kavudi finally in for his first pit stop. Hopefully, as I said, he knows that it is a 2-stop strategy. Kelvin, I believe, has just come in for his second pit stop. So yeah, the Olympo driver making his second stop now. Dutch Missile and the top 5 are the only ones, as well as of course Kavudi, all yet to make their second stop. So I think Kavudi's probably going to take 3 laps on these soft tyres, or 4 laps on these soft tyres, take another 4 laps on the soft tyres, which would be smart. I don't understand that. Yeah, so I think it's just going to play into their favour. So there's been a bit of a spinner a bit further down. I think that is Aspect on the fast left to right hander. I don't know if he just had a spin or what had happened, or if he had contact, but unfortunately for Aspect, he got up ahead of Lion, and now he's completely dropped back behind Lion.
What I'm like, FRL Ginger, having a torrid time out there. I wonder if he's got some sort of damage or something. Very unusually slow.
Yeah, because he's usually been sort of in like the top 3, top 5 for the majority of the races so far. So FRO Ginger, yeah, it's just not worked out in his favour. There you go, Lars, Corby in. So let's have a look. Lars on a fresh set of the softs. Corby Where tyre is he going on? Mr. CRG Gamer himself going on a fresh set of softs. Yeah, so that's what I was expecting. Arnold and Maverick are following suit as well, so I'm assuming that they're going to be going on a fresh set of soft tyres to go to the end of the race. So Rosé is the one that has stayed out on track. Lars still emerges in the lead of the race, and what makes this interesting is Ariel Valter is separating Lars and Sam. And Sam's only got 2 seconds to make a catch up on, but by the end of this race, I think the mediums are going to be the favourable tyres. So Sam needs to get a move on if he wants the chance of being able to get on that podium and finishing on that podium. So far, I think every single race he's been on the podium for when he's done his races. What have you just seen, Mark?
Trinity in the wall. I don't know if he picked up some damage. May not have, but we can. I'll tell you what, the gap. I feel like he might have, because he's losing a lot of time to Sam Corby. Not entirely sure, but yeah, very, very odd. And Sam is obviously catching Rita quite nicely here. And I do fear for the relentless man. His biggest hope was almost to try and get Trinity to come with him. But he will also be glad that Trinity is kind of disappearing down the road. And if they do lose points to Sam, it's only 2 potentially.
Yeah, so it wouldn't necessarily be too bad, but I suppose they want to try and finish up ahead of them and get that gap as much as they can. Obviously, with Relentless being the ones in the driving seat at the moment in this 24-hour event championship, they're the ones currently with 283 and the absolute units of 279. So both teams doing very good jobs with that. Rosé into the pits for his second stop finally, so he's going to get jumped by Lars, he's going to get jumped by Valter. Is he going to be jumped? I think he's going to be jumped by Sam Corby. Is he going to be jumped by Trinity though? Trinity now 2.5 seconds behind the rest of the guys. Here we go, coming out the pits comes Rosé, up ahead of Trinity, literally by about a second, as well as there was a spinner. I think I just caught the end of that, and I think, was that an Alpine? I think it was an Alpine. I think that might have been...
There's aspects.
Oh, it was aspects. Sorry, Williams.
Yeah, he's been lapped and he's having an awful time out there, but fair play for keep going.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's just done another one. Kavudi all over the back of FR Ginger, maybe going in towards turn 3. Kavudi maybe iron up that move. He has to back out of that one, so Kavudi still down in 12th position. He wants to try and get past Ginger quick time though to try and utilise the soft compounded tyre. So if he does it, then well, it's basically just a waste, and he's just going to be sitting behind the humble driver for that entire time. But yeah, he needs to get this move done. I'd say quick time to try and be able to capitalise on this. Interesting thing to note as well, Corby is actually on the podium, so did someone have an off that I didn't realise? Oh no, sorry, no, that was just Rosé coming into the pits early on, so yeah, he obviously tried to go for an overcut on the rest of the guys, but yeah, it's not sort of paid off for him. He is still within the DRS clutches of Sam and Valter, but Sam's obviously within a DRS of Valter, so I think we're going to be seeing a move go on for this P2 here. I think Valter, I don't think there's much he's going to be able to do. Sam Corby now going to just pull up alongside Ariel Valter, straight down the inside, move straight back on the racing line. That's that move all done and dusted. Not too hard for him. Rosé down in 4th position, picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, so despite nobody else around him having any penalties and being on a fresher compounded tyre, he still needs to make a little bit more of a gain just to be safe as well. Yeah, I said I'm quite intrigued on how this is going to go. Kavudi picking himself up a 3-second time penalty down in 12th position. Rosé still very close to the back of Valter, but as I said, I don't think he's going to get enough momentum to try and go for a move. I'll say that he's trying to go for a move coming through the tight twisty left and right. Why did it look like I just seen rain just start to come down then? That was a bit interesting, I'm not going to lie. Ooh, Rosé diving it down the inside at just before the castle section, and that's just costing him time, and that's costing him a bit of tyre wear, so that was dreadful.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously has to gap Rita by 3 seconds, but actually what he's doing is bringing himself back into TTG Trinity's clutches by being that desperate to get past. So, yeah, I don't know. Very, very strange. And Rita will not mind this at all, because I can't see him putting 3 seconds, so it's somewhat irrelevant, you would argue.
Yeah, I think Valter's going to be quite happy that this is all happening for him as well. And you can see Rosé barely any ERS for his name. And in fact, he didn't even get the DRS. I don't
He
understand
backed
that.
off. No, he backed. He did. He opened it up for on my screen, but that was really strange. He backed off. I can't work out for why. I'm really confused. I tell you what, if I see Jab in the chat, Jab, I'd be worried that people are going to start paying attention to some of your quicker drivers because the performance so far from Relentless has been exquisite. It's been great as Dylan gets a move done on Cameron, which is really impressive. He's on the mediums.
Yeah, nicely done from Dylan. There's yellow flags somewhere out on the track. In fact, it's actually where we're coming up to now. Has someone had an off? I can't see anybody that sort of had an off at the moment. So it looks like they're just sort of carrying it on at this present moment. But yeah, I think
either might have, because he's pitting again. So he's got wing damage. I don't think it'll affect anything realistically, other than the fact he can't jump Dutch missile.
of course, agreed. So, yeah, I mean, just looking on board with a few other guys now because the race is sort of starting to die down. We've only got 4 more laps left to go. Obviously, SXT Lars just sort of been driving a race of his own, just keeping a nice, comfortable lead. Done a very good job so far. I said not had anyone around him, probably for the best, but he's done a very good job out in the lead anyway, despite any of that. Someone a little bit further down, I think that is Speed Knight and down in 14th position at the exit of the castle section, just having a bit of an off. And yeah, he's got, well, it's not just him that's having a bit of an off, his wing has had a bit of an off, completely come off. So Speed Knight, unfortunately, probably gonna have to make his way into the pits. Almost, I thought he was gonna go straight into the wall, but managed to hold on to that one indeed. So yeah, he's gonna be making a pit stop at the end of this lap. A little bit further up though, Foxy Red and Cameron both going side by side, coming through turn 3 and up towards turn 3. The thing is, Cameron got a DRS. Foxy Red also has DRS, both just fighting it out tooth and nail up towards turn 3, and Cameron has to back out of that one. Foxy Red now up into 7th, and I think we might start to see the switch over point, or the crossover point, sorry, for the mediums and the soft tyres. I think these softs at lap 7 or lap 6 definitely are a bit more worse for wear in comparison to the medium tyres.
Big shout out to Kabudi. Managed to get his second pit stop. There's another set of yellows. That could be anybody. Yeah, don't know why, but there's chaos. There's absolute chaos in this somewhere.
Yeah, I can't
couldn't
see
work out what's happened. I couldn't work out who was the unfortunate soul, because there's just so many cars in that area of the track, and some of them were lapped, some of them were not lapped.
Oh, Jab's actually right. I think it was Rosé. Rosé got past Valter and Trinity, didn't he? He was closing out to the back of Corby. He's dropped down into 5th position now. So he's obviously dropped it somewhere. And yeah, down now into 5th. I don't know if he's picked himself up any sort of wing damage or anything like that. But keep an eye out on him, see if he does end up coming into the pits. I don't think he does. So I think he's just going to be staying out there for another 2 more laps. But yeah, very unfortunate for Rosé. And a little bit further down as well, Arnold and Cameron both trading positions. So Arnold now up into 8th position, jumping up ahead of Cameron. Cameron on 8-lap-old soft tyres. Those things must be screaming out to him by now to just get them off. But Cameron's already made his mandatory 2 stops, so he doesn't need to particularly come in again. I did think it was a little bit early for when I'd seen him make that pit stop, but in the end, yeah, I think he's tried to play it. It just hasn't paid off for him, unfortunately. Maverick, within 4 seconds of trying to catch up to the back of the Equals driver, probably could do it within the next 2 laps, depending on how bad those soft tyres actually are. But at the moment, Cameron's just doing quite a decent job on these soft tyres, considering how hard that they are. Just staying up ahead of the QPR driver.
Really feel it for Risa. He was probably looking to gap Valter for that 3-second gap, and now he's got a different 3-second gap to worry about, which is the one to Dylan behind him. Big stroke of luck there from Relentless, and yeah, Sam Corby won't be too happy, and all his teammates, because that was an opportunity to close further in.
Cameron lost his front wing completely. His front wing has completely gone. So Maverick is now up into 9th. Ginger, I think, is going to get the jump on Cameron as well. I'm assuming Cameron's going to be in at the end of this lap to get rid of those completely dead shot tyres. But unfortunately for him, I don't think he wanted to get rid of them because he's now going to lose quite a few positions. I'll say quite a few positions, to be fair. He's only going to lose, really, I think, 2 positions with getting that wing changed. And he still has a chance of being able to jump both Kelvin and Ginger with them being on a bit older tyres. A little bit further up in front, though. Dylan and Foxy Red both going at it. Dylan on 8-lap old medium tyres, trying to maybe go for a move on Foxy Red. He's so close. Dylan wants to try and get this move done once again in towards turn 3. Foxy Red just going to go in the middle of the track. Dylan going to try and go around the outside to take the racing line on Foxy Red. Foxy Red just going to slot in behind him. Dylan gets himself back up into 6th position. That's the problem sometimes with overtaking at that long DRS straight, because if you do, you've only got turn 3's DRS straight that just comes straight back up, and you wouldn't have had enough time to get a bit of a gap on the driver out in front, or on the driver behind you, where you could just get overtaken once again from another set of DRS.
Yeah, big shout out to Risa, who's now got about 3-second gap. Dylan will be fuming. He was comfortably in it. That little bit of battling cost them both, and you've got Arnold now right on the back of it.
Yeah, so the ERT driver closing up to the back of these 2 medium runners, and I wonder if Arnold's maybe going to try and opt to go for some sort of move as yellows a little bit further up. I think that is Rizé again, if I'm not mistaken, or it might have been Trinity. I don't know, because it looked like it was somewhere over here, or it might have just been well, it potentially was a back marker. I genuinely don't know, because I can't see any back markers around. Oh no, I can see Vapor Line. It might have been Vapor Line actually.
Might have been Ginger, because was Maverick ahead of him before? I'm going mad. Yeah, Trinity's probably going to get Router here.
He potentially could. We're coming on towards the final lap of this race, and SXT Lars, as I said, just been in an absolute class of his own so far, but TTG Trinity closing up to the back of Ariel Valter, coming up towards coming on towards the final lap now. Up towards turn 3, Valter's managed to just hold off from him at the moment. It's that run down towards the line though, at the exit of the final corner is where things are going to be very interesting. So SXT Lars, I believe, is going to be taking the win for this one. I'll just keep on board with him, because I'm sort of not really rode on board with him at all throughout this race. You know, he's just kept it nice and quiet, nice and steady, and he's done a very he's pulled an absolute blinder of a job out there with it. So Lars, give yourself a pat on the back. Very nice drive from him indeed. Sam Corby, sorry, manages to, I think, pick himself up another podium once again for that P2. P3 position, though, is yet to be decided. Is it going to be Valter? Is it going to be Trinity? Is Trinity going to be able to get the move done on Ariel Valter, or is Trinity going to just fall flat? We'll have a look in just a short moment. Lars just making his way up towards the line for round number 15. He's going to be coming home to take the win for tonight. Lars, give yourself, as I said, a massive pat on the back. He's taking the win for round number 15.
Ooh, this is going to be close.
22. Let's have a look. Trinity, 300ths of a second behind Ariel Valter. Even behind that, Dylan and Foxy Red. Foxy Red so close to the back of Dylan. Arnold as well. Didn't manage to get a move done. Maverick will end up finishing in 9th. Ginger will be in 10th in the end. And unfortunately for Eco's Cameron, he didn't manage to catch back up to Ginger. However, he has still managed to come out in front of Kelvin. So Cameron, he's only lost 1 position essentially, but yeah, I think it's just a position he probably would have rather have kept. However, 1 position is still not the end of the world, and the fastest lap just for his travels as well. Kelvin will come home and finish in 12th. Kavudi will follow suit in 13th position. And I was saying that, I don't know what the penalties were actually looking like. I think all just little 3-second time penalties with each of them. Kavudi, will finish in 13th. Dutch Missile will finish in 14th, and Speed Knighton will finish in P15 in the end. And that would be all she has wrote for the entirety of, well, for round number 15 around Baku. And yeah, I mean, I suppose there was parts of it that were quite entertaining, not gonna lie. There was a few parts that were kind of died down a bit. But yeah, I said overall it was pretty decent.
I feel like some races benefit from the two-stop, like Austria. And I feel like some races don't, like here.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. That here definitely did not benefit from a two-stop. So, yeah.
So, just to remind everyone, we've got the wet race next. You only need to stop once in the wet. You
Thank God
don't
for that.
need to stop twice. I'm going to have to go because I'm going to restart my PS4. I'm going to reconnect to my wired internet because I realise it's on wireless.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do my race. So, good luck.
Quick live
Good luck
interview.
in
You did
the.
it with me. How you feeling for it,
Go
Mark?
on. I'm good in the wet, but I don't know who else is good in the wet. I know Shepalele is, but he's starting from the back, I think. So, who else is in here?
Let's have a look. So you have got Rocco. Forza Brendan. That's an
Well, he's
interesting one.
getting it.
That's an interesting one.
He is.
Who else? Verstappen. He's racing in it.
There's quite a few in there.
Yeah.
It's a bit stacked. It's a bit stacked for 5:15 in the morning. Jesus. Right, I had better go because I've got to restart all this. I don't want to hold anyone up.
Okay, that's
But
fine.
I will. Good luck. And I dare say I'll speak to you in a bit.
Cool. All right, man.
Thanks, guys.
So, just before we did go, as I said, the standings, just so at least you guys have the idea of who's finished where for round 15. Lars took the win, Corby in second, Valter in third, Trinity fourth, Rosé in fifth, Dylan in sixth, Foxy Red seventh, Arnold in eighth, Alt Maverick in ninth, Ginger ran out that top 10, Cameron in 11th with the fastest lap of the race as well, Kelvin 12th, Karudi in 13th, Dutch Missile 14th, Speed 19 in 15th with Maverick, Ivory Mike in 16th, Vaporline in 17th, Aspect in 18th, and then our two DNFers of Waffles and Zander on his double points race, unfortunately DNFing, which is not ideal for him whatsoever. So yeah, I'm just going to switch it back over to the other screen really quickly whilst we try and get things set up for the next race, which will be myself and Ariel Nolan. So as I said, do bear with me 1 second because it is of course going to be USA wet, and I'll be back with you guys in a very short moment.
Do you need me to turn my headset down a bit? Have you got a bit of an echo? Are you good?
No, all good. We're here now for round number 16,
Oh,
everyone. Yeah,
oh.
we are here. This is going to be a very, very, very interesting comms, if I do say so myself. I'm looking forward to this, but at the same time, I'm scared shitless.
You can't swear on stream, lad. You must set an example.
Oh,
What's
sorry.
your fucking mouth?
My apologies. I shouldn't be doing that. My humble apologies. Yeah, so as you can tell, me and Nolan, we're ready. I'm waiting for all these guys to do their wet setups and get everything all sorted out. I think at this point, I don't think anyone can really know, or I think everyone already practically knows. I think we've just reached that point.
Go on,
More
spit it
like,
out,
don't
lad.
give a fuck.
Well, just remember, boys, only an idiot would forget to pick their setup. So remember to get your setup ready for the race.
Yeah, alright, I've got you, okay? I've got you. I know.
Right, before we start, Jaco will probably bail on this, but still, we've got alcohol. We're going to spin the wheel. Hold on, and put the last driver in. Right, we're going to spin the wheel. Whoever it lands on, every time they get an overtake, you take a shot.
I'll take a shot on Monster, how's that sound?
Oh, that's terrible, but still. Right, we'll spin it for you.
Because as I said, if I try and drink, I am not surviving the 24 hours.
Mate, I've been doing it since fucking 12.
Yeah, yeah. You're Northern, that's the problem.
Well, you've got the Dutch Missile.
Okay, he's down in 13th at the moment. Okay.
Who am I getting? Spin it. Wait, how do I... How do you...
Don't count this for one shot either, because we're just going to be doing so much.
Oh, God. I've got... Oh! I've got XL Rocco, boys!
Have ya? Oh. Well, he's up in first at the moment. Oh. Well, he's battling with good old Sam Corby. So,
It's not like mid-hour Rocco, lad.
oh, he's dropped it down to 7th.
That's 6 shots for me. I'm afraid.
Bottoms up. Touch missile has invalidated on his lap time, so why have you done that?
Oh, mate, there's people that have been like Daka put on the hards. There's some strange decisions that have been being made at the moment.
I mean, did you not see the Hungary race?
I saw the Hungary race. I also would like to say I don't condone the actions of our real Nathan. In that, I think he enjoyed the track extending liabilities
A little
bit more. But you know, it wouldn't be an event without a little bit of relentless cheating. So we got to get it out there.
God's sake, at least you're honest.
This has the potential to be one of the deadest races in the world.
Or I feel like it could be the best race of the event. It's literally going to be either end of the spectrum.
If we put that rule in that we were talking about just beforehand of you have to do 5 laps on the slick tyres, that would have been. I mean, Ibo would have been front. He's had training. Hey, Vapor Russell's at the front though.
He certainly is. Shifters is in second. Verstappen in third. Cortez in fourth. Corby in fifth. Rocco is in seventh. Your driver. Got to keep an eye on him getting those overtakes in. Lars in seventh. Redmat in eighth. Gustav in ninth. KJ in 10th. Arnold in 11th. Brendan in 12th. Trinity in 13th. Brandon in 14th. Foxy Red in 15th. Old School 16th. And then our DNFers Noisy, Dutchman Sark, Kavudi, and then Humbalele or Shapalele or Spinalele, I think that's what Gareth Hall called him earlier. Yeah, is starting at the very back of the grid. It is their race to start at the back of the grid. Jess has finally arisen, ready for her breakfast morning show. You've just got to deal with this absolute shit show first, and then.
Listen, no, you've got this lack of faith, you know.
It's not a lack of faith.
Did you not see the viewer spike
funny
when me and Jake were on commentary? The spike in viewers, the interaction. Go have a look at the analytics, mate. You've never seen anything like it. We reached £1,000 whilst I was commentating. That's no coincidence, mate.
I suppose you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. So,
and you can vote for me for commentator of the season and LE right now. But if I get one vote, then I've frauded it. I've not even voted for myself.
Do you know what? I've got you. I got you back. All right.
Oh, yes. Oh dear.
Man, I can't believe it. Okay, I'm intrigued how this is going to turn out. I'm stuttering so much.
You babysat me. I checked I was like, I put myself down, ladies and gentlemen, for every race, right? I was like, I'm going to be free the whole time. This guy initially put me on one race, and that was with him in the wet at USA. No trust. The Excel agenda against me.
Yeah,
continues.
Absolute agenda. Come on, man, you know this. Come on. Oh no! I just thought, you know what? I thought I'd fill you up where you could, and the only place that was free was me at USA Wet.
Listen, I put myself down for it. I was like, I can do anything, mate. I'm an all-rounder. And you're gonna see my all-round skills when I take the maximum points at France. I'm gonna win drunk at France. That is the way.
If you do that, then yes, I will have some shots with you.
Is it a sweaty lobby, actually? I've not even checked. Is it a good lobby?
Well, you'll see afterwards. You will see afterwards. But we got a long 28 laps coming up ahead of us.
It's going to be a long race as well.
It's a long race.
Why did they play like Austria?
I don't know.
Oh, did you just spin it? Was it random?
We spun
Which
it.
one got the rain?
We spun it and it was USA.
You know, I was going to race USA because I've got this false sense of security that I'm good in the wet after the last few races, and I've realised it's only because I completely shit out it and pick dry setups in quali, start near the front, and then you can't overtake in the wet. You can't quite get away with that in one shot, so.
Well, I mean, and like you said, sort of shouting it at the back, and then just making your way through the wet with everyone just making mistakes. That's not that bad.
Well, I reckon a little decent underlining thing that could be a factor in this is if you did have a dry setup, especially on this track, I think you could benefit from the straight line speed because you can't get many overtakes in the wet. I think on that back straight, if you had a good straight line speed, we could see quite a few overtakes down there because I think that's the only place. Apart from what's the corner just before? It's like the you know the dipping hairpin when everyone sends it just before the start of sector 3.
Yeah.
I think we'll see a few there.
Yeah, that would definitely see a
And we've
few
got
come through there.
KJ links in here, so we'll definitely see a few there.
Don't worry, Mr. SXT Lars is also in here, so...
Mate, I saw Silverstone. That was... Ivory Mike having everyone on toast.
Everybody on the ropes for Big Mike. But anyway, back to the actual commentary. We're waiting for Chapelelli just to line up, and we'll be getting this one straight underway as soon as everybody shows in. So there we go. We have got the 3 and the 4 and the 5 red lights, and away they go for the wet race of the event, and it looks as if Vapor Russell getting the best start out of all of them. They're 4 wide going in towards turn 1, just behind them, and it looks as if Rocco doing an absolute sending manoeuvre. Jack, that's already 3 shots for you, and up into 4th position. I think you made a mistake trying to do this, I'm not going to lie, but...
saw an Alpine send it and just ram someone in the back. Is that... Have they not got damage from that?
Potentially
I think
they
was
do.
it KJ?
They might have done, to be fair, because KJ's like in the battle with Sam Corby coming up the hill, both side by side. And Speed Redmat, I'm going to ride on board with him because he's getting the best camera angle out of all of this. Sam Corby going to try and go around the outside of KJ, coming on towards what would be the first DRS straight. Of course, not going to be any DRS anyway because it would be on the 3rd lap. But KJ going a bit too deep, and Sam Corby even following him, going a bit too deep. And you can already see how much the rest of the guys up in front have gained from that alone, and KJ under pressure once again from Sam Corby, and I think Sam's even just going to get that move straight down the inside, and that's that all done and dusted. Rocco, by the way, making another overtake on Lars, so that's another shot for you.
I'm popping it open right now. Let's sort of point out before I die, Kavudi has gained 7 places from 19th on the grid. He's not even the one starting at the back, is he? Or is he? No, it's Chapelelli.
No, it was Chapelelli, and he's up to 14th
so
already.
Kavudi in the Aston Martin's gained 7 positions.
Oh wait, is that the Dutch missile that just had a spin? Oh.
Oh wow.
Hashtag
Well,
blessed.
you're gonna get away with this. But to be fair though, he can only make overtakes from now on.
That is a good point.
He can't. If anyone spins, he's overtaking them. So.
That's a very good point. I don't like this.
Right. Hey, the front of the grid though, like you can see early on the people that are a bit more confident in the wet. Look at the front 3, like that gap has formed very quickly to the people further behind them.
Jeez, it really has. KJ's moved up in front of Rocco as well. Sam trying to sort of follow through and get past Rocco. That's definitely one shot that you have.
Oh, I thought I made a Malibu. That's a tequila. I fucked the wrong bottle. Oh, I wasn't prepared for that whatsoever. Oh my god.
I don't think you would have prepared any sort of line with that, did you?
I genuinely thought, I wasn't looking, I was looking at the street view. I thought I made a Malibu. Alright, this one's a Malibu. Here we go.
Oh no.
I've got France at half 8 as well.
Oh, I can't
Right,
believe
no, it's cool. Stick to. Oh, gee, that was horrible. Right, positions gained. KJ, I took shots at him at the start. He's gained 5. He's up into 5th. Who am I wanting to do rubbish here? Let's have a look at the standings. Unbiased, obviously, but just.
No, very biased. If you're being very biased, you want Sam Corby to do bad.
Oh, Brendan's an 18th of a penalty. Oh. I'm sure the stewards will look at that. I'm sure that was Corby's fault, so we'll get that sorted out.
Anyway, on a non-biased note, Shifter's picking up the fastest lap of the race, the Ecos driver. I was saying earlier, Ecos might actually be looking for their first race win. Verstappen, is in third, just behind Vapor Russell. QBR looking to try and get, I think, their second win of the event. So keep our eye on that. Those top three, as I said, just completely pulled away from the rest of the grid. Lars in fourth is 2.5 seconds behind Verstappen. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that those top three are, well, they're basically just going straight for it. It is only the one stop in this wet conditions instead of the two stop, only because then it just makes that race a lot longer if it was a two stop in the wet conditions. But yeah, so it's only just a one stop, and it's looking like Shifters, as I said, putting on an absolute shift already. Going already a second up ahead of Vapor Russell. KJ closing up to the back of Lars, and that is going to make for a very, very messy battle once that does happen, I think. I can't tell if you're taking a piss or if you were...
I can just hear you yawning halfway through every single sentence. Yeah, these front three, they've completely gone now. They've left the rest of the field faster than Nathan's dad left him. It's absolutely outrageous. They're just way beyond. Lars is nearly 3 seconds. They're already almost in the comfort zone to pick up penalties, which is a lovely place to be because I'm rarely there. I pick up a penalty, it's game over. Rocco, I'm surprised he's not made himself further up the field. And if you think about the deal, he's actually not gained overall, because he's still in sixth. So if you think about it, I'm all good. But you were saying about like the wet weather, ERS, we should see, there's no DRS obviously, but the amount of ERS that you're able to use kind of makes up for the DRS zones in a way, because everyone's kind of got it. As KJ, the penalties are now starting to come through. I am surprised that we've seen penalties already start coming through. I thought it'd be quite easy to keep track limits in the wet, because I didn't think you'd be going that fast to go off track.
See, I would have thought that as well, but I suppose each to their own, I guess.
People just aren't as good as us, I guess. That's just the way it is. We're too good at the game.
Obviously not. Rocco saying that picks up a 3-second time penalty.
And noisy.
And noisy as well, yeah. Interesting thing as well, Brandon's got a 5-second and Brendan's got 10 seconds of penalties. So I think that must have been that collision that happened with Dutch Missile and a few others down the back of the grid. For some reason it's given him 2 sets of penalties for it. It's a bit interesting. Noisy's dropped it coming up towards the hairpin at the end of the first sector. No, sorry. Yeah, at the end of the first sector, sorry. So, yeah, don't know what happened with Noisy, but he's now down into 18th position. Shifters still keeping up at that 1 second gap, but Russell's now jumping that 1 second gap ahead of Verstappen. And in fact, he's borderline on that 1 second gap. So, Verstappen just needs to try and get a little bit of a move on, try and close up to the back of those top two a bit more if he wants a chance of being able to win this race. Yeah, Sam Corby can just play his time a bit more as well. He obviously wants to try and get past Lars, but he needs to get past Rocco and KJ first, and they're not easy ones to try and get past. So, yeah, I think we just need to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, this has been a great. At the moment, the front three have just showed that they're kind of levels above everyone else. I think at the moment we're going to see quite a few trains. It will be interesting to see when the pit come, like when people decide to pit, because I don't think we'll see too much of a drop off in the wets. We never really do. So I don't think it'll be like pitting as a case of tyre wear. I think we'll see more pits just to get a bit of free air, I guess, because it's never nice driving behind someone because the spray in the rain. I hate seeing it. You know me. I can't drive behind anyone safely anyway. So when I've got spray in my eyes, it makes it worse. And my TV is that bad. I don't even see like spray. It's like white pixels. I can literally see like white squares coming out of people's car.
That's very interesting. So, yeah, I suppose when it comes to a wet race, you need to just remember that for next time. Get in front of Nolan, and yeah, I suppose then it's good luck.
That's the worst possible thing you could do. What do you mean? Our guys, we got better over recent times, but we've got a little train now that has formed behind Lars that is quite building up all the way back to the 11th. And
Yeah.
I'm noticing half of them have the low fuel symbol and half of them don't. So obviously you don't burn as much fuel in the wet. It'd be interesting to see just how much fuel they have actually under. What's the word? Underfueled.
Underfueled.
That's the one. Because we've seen underfueling to bite a few people in the arse earlier on in this stream. So I like a little bit of dramatic. Hopefully Sam Corby, I can see the white symbol there. If he runs out of fuel near the end, that won't be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I'm sure that you'll be hoping and praying that that does happen, or that maybe even Shizu Cortez gets the move done on him, because he's all over the back of him coming through the S section. I'm going to run a board with Cortez just to see what it's actually looking like through this S section in the wet conditions, because I can imagine it's not the easiest thing to try and follow through as Speed Red Mat, sorry, in 9th, picking up a 3-second time penalty. Noisy's come into the pits and retired from the session. So that's just I don't know why, because every single place picks up points. So yeah, I don't understand why they're doing that, to be honest with you. But right on board with Cortez, still almost going into the back of Sam Corby. But yeah, look how close it all is from Lars to KJ to Rocco to Sam to Cortez. So close between all of those guys, especially when they're all slowing down to coming through up to this hairpin. You'll see it in just a short second as well. If I ride aboard with Sam Corby, you can see just how close all of them in their shot. Even with Cortez, every single driver just in front of him, all within that shot. So it's very close within these 5 guys, and then you've got Redman just a little bit behind, just sort of slacking ever so slightly. But I don't think we're going to see any moves going into this little the left-hand hairpin. Chapelele trying to maybe make a move on Foxy Red, but I think the humble lad started in last position, as it was his mandatory start race last. If I said that right? Starting last race,
No,
sorry.
but
Yeah, the starting last race. He's actually coming in for his mandatory stop very early.
that's interesting. He's like gained all the positions. He's going to send himself to the back again. Maybe he's thinking, because this is the benefit they have being a bit further back. When they do pit, they are going to come out into clean air. The issue with these 3 drivers at the front is because they pulled away so much, they're kind of stuck with the pit window, because they're going to come out in traffic. And this train, we've seen how hard it is to overtake in the wet, so this is probably the last place they want to get stuck. They kind of have to wait for everyone else to pit, I think.
Yeah, no, they certainly do. So, Chapelele, 8 seconds of clean air in front of Forza Brendan, as Kavudi comes into the pits and retires from the session as well. Again, don't understand why you would, considering the fact that it is literally every single person gets points. So, no idea why they would do that. But yeah, Rocco, Sam Corby, Cortez. In fact, Rocco's starting to lose touch a little bit from KJ. KJ's starting to lose touch from Lars, interestingly. So Rocco may need to start looking behind him for Sam Corby. Here he comes, maybe in towards the hairpin at the end of this straight. Rocco does break late, but Sam's just trying to sort of force his way through. Forces Rocco well out of the track. And even then, now losing out a position to Cortez as well. Bit of wheel banging between the 2 Alpha Tauris. Rocco might even try and go for this move once again onto Sam Corby. He's going to try and go for it there.
Oh,
Cortez wide! Cortez trying to force that move down. Sam Corby loses 1 position, but 2 positions because of all of that. Taking the normal racing line.
Oh,
Cortez
he's
tried to
lost
hold
it.
And oh my goodness.
Wait.
That was actually Cortez that sort of slightly lost it, but just got it back.
So Cortez lost it on the inside. Kind of was like a gentleman, because like, he went into Cortez. Corby went into Cortez after like losing it, which made Cortez spin, and he kind of like turned back into Cortez to like save him a little bit, but hasn't given the position back. So it was like a sorry for spinning you. There you go, but now do one. But Rocco absolutely rinsed him there, to be honest, because he got shafted to start with, and he just sent it. And I think he had the best line because he was in the middle, so he could get some grip. Showed absolutely no respect. I know exactly what Rocco would have sounded like in that party chat as soon as he got pushed outside. I've heard him in F2, so I know that he would feel no sorrow for doing what he did next.
No, definitely not. I'm sure he'll probably be saying, in the famous words of Fernando Alonso, Karma. So I'm sure he'd probably be just chanting that since that had happened. But yeah, So Rocco back up into 6th position. Obviously Sam, he hasn't got a better, or Sam hasn't got a penalty like what Rocco and what KJ do as well. So Rocco needs to get a bit of a move on, catch up to the back of KJ, just get past him, so at least he knows he's gotten that position from the Alpine driver. Speed Red Matt trying to go a bit defensive from Foxy Red, coming up in towards the end of the DRS straight as well, and I don't think Foxy Red's going to be close enough to get any sort of move done anyway on Speed Red Matt, so Red Matt just keeping that P9 position, although again another one that has a penalty, as well as Trinity down in 11th position. This race has gone very, very slow. I know it's a wet race, but it's only lap 8 of 28.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a lot of time filling, I'm afraid, Jacob, mate. This is, at the moment, it's going to get to the point where someone's going to lose the back end a little bit and we're going to celebrate for some action. So, hopefully, people start to send it. Rocco's got another penalty. Lost drive. Ever since he left Relentless, you've just seen like this downward spiral of him. He's kind of... It's ever since he thought he was leaving to the better team, but in fact they've won. They can't win anything actually. So he's struggling ever since getting terrible advice. If he'd have stuck here, I think he'd have done all right. But at the moment he's struggling. 6 seconds of pens, dropped down to 7th. I'm pretty sure Corby will be getting called something that rhymes with like a daft trunt. And he's been... Oh, how's he saved that? How did he save that? Fair, but Rocco's amazing.
That is
what
the
a
Excel effect.
That's Excel has worked out for him perfectly there. Never mind.
Oh man, so yeah, Rocco unfortunately down now into 8th position, as he has a little bit of contact with Sam Corby. Vapor Russell I think must have made some sort of mistake, because Verstappen is now only 4 tenths behind the Vapor driver, and Russell moving over to that left hand side just to make sure that Verstappen doesn't get any sort of slipstream from that. Moves back onto the racing line straight away, so I don't really see what the point of that was other than just to slow him down ever so slightly in a straight line. Verstappen brakes very late though, coming through the hairpin, and now it's going to allow Russell just to shoot off a little bit more into the distance. So Verstappen just having a massive lock up on his pad. Cortez still all over the back of Sam Corby. Can't seem to find any sort of move. You said that we've got to fill the time. I believe I wrote a song.
Oh, listen. I live in a flat with 4 other people, and it's 5:30. It's 6 o'clock. I've got a race at 8:30. Okay, if we have 5 minutes to spare, I will slam on the piano there. But I have a roommate right next to the wall. She can probably already hear me commentating. She'll be already fuming with me. Rocco's diving into the pits though. In case it's so, we'll move on and hope you forget, and we'll talk about this pit stop.
So yeah, Rocco and KJ both made their way into the pits for their mandatory 1 stop. Chapelele and Old School are the 2 that have made their pit stops. Forza Brendan follows them in as well, so all coming in, getting their fresh set of wet tyres put on, and then going to the end of the race on that one. It doesn't have to be 2 stop, it's just a 1 stop as well. Saying that this race might put into sleep as all further up in the field, Lars having the spin at the exit of the S section. So the driver for the Barcarels team, unfortunately for him, drops down now into 10th position. I don't think he got himself any wing damage. It doesn't look as if he has, but yeah, he's had that spin, I think, at the exit of the S section. So yeah, Lars now down into 10th position.
Yeah, it's not gone too well for Lars. He had a really good race. Was it last race that he won? Or,
yeah, Baku, yeah.
Yeah, he had a shaky start. Is he the same Lars, or was there 2 Larses? Because I know there was one that was a little bit controversial.
That's
with
the same one.
Oh, okay, understanding. So he's turned it around. He's turned people's heads around. Let's hope he can recover a little bit. Up front, I'm thinking. Oh, I'm looking at the stops now. You only have to make 1 stop. We've had 5 people make their stop now. Let's have a look at the front. Penalties wise, well, I'm surprised with how many penalties we've got, you know. I really didn't think there'd be that much. Vapor Russell's in. This is going to be important now, because Shifter's staying out, Verstappen's staying out. So this is probably we're going to see how big the undercut is in the wet here, because I'm not sure how big the gap will be.
Yeah, and Chapelele and KJ both going at it. Chapelele, I think, just nudged the back of KJ ever so slightly, and he's now all over the back of KJ once again. Vapor Russell just coming out of the pits way ahead of KJ anyway, so he's in fact all over the back of Lars, who Lars was actually trying to catch up to him, but yeah, that was yeah, Russell now doing his first pit stop already. He's going to try and go for the undercut on Shifters and Verstappen. I feel like that might have been a little bit too early of a call. I think the guys on the wets, you can probably literally take them to like lap 14, lap 15, and then you should just be good from there. But yeah, just to avoid any sort of traffic going on. But maybe it's up to him, I guess. He's obviously made that stop, and let's see if it's going to play out for him. All over the back of Lars, and Lars, well, I suppose that's basically just gifted it to him.
Oh, no,
Lars
it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, it certainly isn't. Oh, okay. I was
He's
about to
going
say,
for it.
I thought he was just going to let him go and just say, yeah,
Oh, no.
cheerio.
Oh,
But
no. Oh, no.
I think things are going to heat up here. In fact, Vapor Russell is a car ahead, so I don't think Lars is going to try and go
he
for it.
sent it.
I
He
was
sent
about
it
to
the inside.
say.
It's just, he's Rosberged him. He just didn't turn for the corner. Russell showed him no respect in return. But Lars is going to go back on the outside. Oh, Russell's going to be fuming. I mean, Lars, it wasn't the wisest move. He technically didn't do anything wrong. But I don't think it was the wisest move on his behalf. Time-wise, I don't think Vapor Russell's not someone that he's racing. He's racing Brandon Glover, who he's just lost 1.5 seconds to, so...
Yeah, I don't understand why Lars has done that, if I'm honest with you, but I suppose it is what it is. Vapor Russell is probably not going to be too happy with that one, and I expect an absolute dive bomb from the Vapor driver up in towards turn 1. A lot more guys just made their way into the pits. Cortez, Gustav, Brandon.
Oh, he sent it from 10 miles back!
I had that feeling he was sending it down that inside. Lars does get the switchback pun on him as well, so Lars gets that position back, and I think he's now going to think, well, okay, if this is how he's going to be playing it, I think there's going to be a bit of aggression, a bit of hot-headedness going into this, you know.
If Shifters and Verstappen have their Jeff, which we all know they do, everyone has their Jeff in the box, surely they're what is going on? Lars, he's having none of it. He's making himself the widest possible boat. But surely Shifters and Verstappen's Jeff are telling him, like, box now. Like, Vapor Russell is losing a lot of time.
Yeah. Literally only coming up just behind Lars as well. Yeah, he's definitely lost, or he has definitely lost a lot of time. 22 seconds behind Shifters. I think pit stop round here is 20 or 21, so... I mean, he gained it at first when he was catching up to Lars, but he's definitely lost that time now, so... I think he needs to get something done quick time if he does. Chapelele, by the way, up into now 9th position, which is a bit interesting. I didn't even realise my driver of the Dutch Missile had DNF, so no shots for me, I guess.
I mean, if you look at it, he is ahead of 2 drivers.
I suppose you're not wrong.
If you think about it.
You're not wrong.
You were saying Chapelele that was up into 9th. There's a lot of people still yet to pit as well. I mean, I think the people at the front are too far away at this point, but he's in contention to get a really good result here. And we've seen a lot today, haven't we? The people that have started at the back, most of them have pulled out a pretty decent result. I think it's been the opposite for the double points. Double points seems to have been a curse. We've seen so many double points people like crash out or just have poor races. But the people that have started at the back have, for the most part, pulled out a decent result, mainly in the top 10 at least.
Yeah, I suppose you're not wrong. Yeah, like the guys that have, as you said, started outside on the top, or started and last, they've had pretty decent results. Obviously, Sam Corby, the only one that's gone from last to first, is, oh my god, Vapor Russell just pushing Lars through this uphill section. So, yeah, but I mean, like I said, there's maybe been like 1 or 2 drivers that haven't exactly had the best last to first, as Russell trying to almost send that on Lars down the inside. You can't be doing it like that, man. You need to try and line this up properly, and yeah, Vapor Russell, I don't know what he was trying to do there, but he's using his ERS as much as he can. Lars using his ERS as well, but Russell has the advantage of just that little bit of extra slipstream on the back of the Dutch driver. Lars, I thought he went a bit too deep through there, but no, it doesn't look as if he has. Well, he kind of has, actually, going off the track, one on board with Vapor Russell. Oh my god, he just absolutely smacks him. He
just drove straight forward. There was no attempt to make the corner then. And I tell you why he went deep the corner before, and this is why I was saying like he was a bit dodgy in the first races. He fully expected Russell to dive bomb him, and did the whole defensive move, which you just don't turn into the corner and you kind of block the exit. And I think he went for that again here and just didn't brake in time. But we don't want to see that, especially like not in any event, but in a charity event especially. Like we are effectively, I know the results matter to some people, but in the grand scheme of things, it's all about what we're raising. It doesn't actually matter where you finish.
Yeah, exactly. It is about what we're raising. Obviously, Lars. Well, I don't understand why he's sort of put the fence up like that. He's just come into the pits now this lap as well. TTG Trinity also into the pits, coming out ahead of Lars as well. Old School I think is up ahead of Lars, but I don't think he's up ahead of Trinity. He might actually be side by side coming through it. No, Old School just behind Trinity as he's come out of the pits. Arnold has gotten in front of Lars. Gustav has gotten in front of Lars after all of that battling. Interestingly enough, Brandon Glover was picking up a gap from Lars when him and Russell were battling. He's now behind Lars for some reason, so I don't know how that's worked, but unless Brandon had wing damage, I don't know how he's managed to jump up in front of him. But we've only got 4 more people that are yet to do their stops. That's the top 3 and Arnold. And now that Russell has that clean air, he's now going to have the ability to try and catch up to these front 3. Sam Corby might get jumped by him, but are the other 2 going to be able to get the jump on Vapor Russell for this overcut? I'm assuming we're going to be seeing those top 3 come in at the end of this lap. If they don't, Jack, then I'll be very surprised. I stopped myself.
Dear me, the true Jake came out then from it. Jacob came out then, but yeah, they're coming in now. Yeah, that was a bit aggressive, that Jake. Oh, you had a little bit of scariness in you. Dear me. Yeah, but they've come in now. I'm surprised they stayed out as long as they did, seeing how much time Vapor Russell lost. It'll be interesting to see, because he was right with them. I think he was in first or second. So it'd be interesting to see just how much time he has lost to them.
I think he might have just lost a lot more time through that through the final part, through the triple rights. He went onto the grass and he's lost out a bit of time, and he's now behind Verstappen because of it. I think he did lose about a second just from doing that alone. So yeah, unfortunately he's now behind Verstappen from that stop. Sam Corby's still yet to make his pit stop, but Shifters is in a net race lead. Verstappen is now in a net race second. Arnold is in. Our only one that's yet to pit is our race leader of Sam Corby for the Absolute Units. Again, still on for, I believe, a podium position if he can get this overcut right. I think he just needs to put out a little bit more of a gap. He's in clean air, so he's got the ability to do it. Whether he will or not, we'll keep our eye on it.
I tell you, he's in for a good result as well at the moment. Cortez, if he can make quick work of KJ, which is proven to, don't say that, which has proven to be quite difficult in previous races, and in the rain I can imagine it's going to be a little bit harder. But with the penalties that are looking like, if he can keep it penalty free, like we've got with Verstappen and Shifters, he's probably potentially going to find himself maybe on a podium.
It's going to be close. It's definitely going to be close. Chapelele, I thought, was going to try and send one, or send an absolute dive bomb up the inside of Cortez, but just had to back out of that one. Rocco also sticking with the back of them. Chapelele just sandwiched between the 2 Alpha Tauris. Cortez going a bit defensive from the Alfa Romeo. He's going to have the better drive coming out of this hairpin though. But I think Cortez manages just to hold that one. I don't think Chapelele is going to be able to do anything in trying to attack him from that. It's just whoever has the better, or whoever's a lot more confident on the throttle, I suppose, coming through the triple rights. But at the moment, Cortez still doing a good job of just keeping up with the bank of KJ. Vapor Russell 2 seconds now behind QVR Verstappen. So yeah, I think his tyres are just starting to, well, I say they're starting to wear down a bit more, but not really. I think the weights are still going perfectly fine. I think it's more just he's a little bit less confident than what Verstappen is on these wet tyres. Maybe even the setup as well, but I would more say it's just confidence on him.
Yeah, full wets are so much, like, they feel so much more terrible than the inters. Like, it's night and day. Just, you see it a lot in wet races. People are so eager to get onto the inters, even if they're just a bit slower, just because they feel nicer. So this cannot be an easy race. I know people struggle with USA as it is anyway, especially Sector 2. I can imagine that is awful in the rain. So I think it's a very slippy track, even in the dry. Like, the grip doesn't seem the best. add full wets, not even inches, and it's showcasing really like the skill gap in some drivers. Like you see the same drivers near the front in situations like this.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. So yeah, as you said, shifters Verstappen the leading two. Vapor Russell is in third. I think a net third, shall I say. I think it might then be KJ or Sam Corbett. It's going to be very close between those two guys. But KJ in an absolute train with himself, Cortez, Chapelele and Rocco. So if Sam Corbett, if he doesn't pit at the moment, I think actually, yeah, never mind, he is coming into the pits. I was about to say, if he doesn't pit on this lap, then he could be falling into the clutches off that train of KJ, Cortez, Chapelele and Rocco. But I think he might just get away with it coming out just behind, coming out in front of those guys. So we'll keep an eye out on it. But yeah, Shifters is going to maintain that lead of the race. Verstappen will remain the second place in that race as well. In fact, is Vapor Russell actually going to be in third? You can see him coming through, and yeah, no, in fact, actually comfortably will be in third position up ahead of Sam. So yeah, Sam in fourth, about 2 seconds now, just behind Vapor Russell. Just needs to get a little bit of a shift on, and yeah, he has a chance of being able to.
See what you did there, mate. See what you did there.
Just get a little bit of a shift on, and then he can, yeah, get himself onto that podium.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. The only person still with that yellow fuel signal is Chapelele. So, it would not surprise it. It'd be the most Chapelele thing to recover from last place and run out of fuel before he crosses the line. So, at the moment, he's on for a good result. He's got that penalty, but most people around him does. It's just Cortez that he can't take advantage of at the moment. But Cortez all over the back of KJ, and you think this could be the time when he sends it.
Certainly could. Portuguese driver is
He's going for the outside.
Yeah, he's going to try and go around the outside of KJ coming through this hairpin. KJ does brake at the appropriate time as well. A little bit of wheel banging between the pair of them ever so slightly, but yeah, Cortez just has to give that one up. KJ now up in the 5th position. Chapelele still can't seem to find any sort of way through on any of these guys, so yeah, just keeping that 7th position at the moment is Mr. Humbelele himself. Yeah, Rocco still just keeping up behind him. I feel like I'm just repeating the exact same things as what I'm saying throughout the entire thing, just to try and fill something up.
I mean, Rocco, that's literally what he does. You don't see Rocco going for overtakes. That's not. He sits behind, he waits for you to spin, and he takes the position. That's the Rocco way. So it's not surprising in that sense. Rocco, from what I believe as well, has just woken up, I think, for the race. I'm not sure if that's.
I think he woke up because he woke up or jumped in the party, the XL party, just before I left to come and do Baku. So I think he was awake since about 4 o'clock.
So he's basically come on, hopped on some practice for a bit, and can I just say, I feel so sorry for the people doing this race, because not only have they had to do this race, their practice was in the wet USA on their own. That sounds like the most miserable thing you could possibly go through.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong whatsoever. Cortez all over the back of KJ for this P5 position. In fact, diving it down the inside of KJ. And in fact, you can see Chapelele trying to take advantage of it. They're free wide, a little bit of contact. Chapelele's out. I don't know what to make of that. I thought, I don't know. That was definitely something. Chapelele has just completely come to a full-on stop. Don't know why he hasn't gone yet, but yeah, completely stopped has the humble lad. KJ just stays up in front of Cortez, a little bit whale-bowing between the two Alpha Tauris. Rocco going down the inside of Cortez. Cortez surely not going to be able to send it down the inside here, but Rocco's going to look to go for a better exit to try and get past KJ, but I don't think he can get the move done on him as at the moment. So yeah, just has to maintain that position for now. Even further down the field, Foxy Red having that massive train on his own.
He should have it. KJ's had a really bad exit. This is Rocco's moment. He's going to send it on the inside of the last corner, which is a very unorthodox place to go for the move. He's not going to get the better exit, and Rocco's quite a calm guy, but surely, like anyone in this situation, is going to start to get a little bit frustrated. As KJ's going to go for the defensive line, Rocco's going to still go for the inside anyway.
I feel like KJ's just
scaring him a little bit.
Over. Yeah, it looked as if he sort of moved like all the way over just to make sure he didn't get that move done, especially even when Rocco was down the inside. So Yeah, I mean, yeah, as you said, I think Rocco might be getting a little bit hot-headed now, and I think he might be trying to go
Oh.
for some sort of move soon.
Well, KJ's just picked up a penalty. Rocco, I mean, we all know Rocco's a bit of a lazy guy. He'd probably just sit there and want to take the position on penalties. Less work for him, but they're both currently sitting on 6 seconds, so he's still on track, has to get past. Chapuele, well, Humbelele, we should call him, retires in the pits. A shame as well, because he was on for a good recovery, and it always seems to be him, doesn't it? I didn't full on see what happened with his. I saw the first part, and it was a dive by, was it Trinity? Cortez, a dive by Cortez on KJ. And then that seemed to ricochet. I think Chapuele went to go take advantage of that, and I don't know if someone swerved back over or not, but he just seems to always get like collected in these incidents.
Yeah, certainly do. There's another one that's going for that dive on KJ. Rocco trying to go down the inside through the hairpin. Has to back out of that one. I don't think the XR driver was close enough. So has to sort of rekindle and go again very soon. KJ losing so much time from those top 4 now. 10 seconds behind the entire top 4 now is the Alpine driver for Bottle Job. Sorry, for Shipped Fingers. So yeah, I think KJ is just he's doing well defending, but at the same time, I suppose it could be eased up a little bit, if I'm honest with you, but I mean, he's doing a good job anyway, so I'm not the one driving, he is. As long as he keeps it clean, that's just the main thing.
You would say that, you biased XL commentator, but
I don't mean against Rocco. I mean KJ. If he keeps it clean, then that's just him racing, you know.
yeah, I tell you, I can promise you now, anything that KJ's doing, Rocco would do the same. So
yeah, exactly.
It's a good little battle. I'd be interested to see in the last few laps whether Rocco kind of ups it a little bit to try and get past, because he's a very patient driver, but I feel like at some point he's going to think, I just want to get past him, because at the end of the day, you don't want to sit behind someone and then finish behind them in the race. They're currently in the same penalties. Rocco looks to have the better pace, he just can't get past.
I'll tell you who is going to go past though. Sam Corby. Oh, a little bit of contact between him and Vapor Russell. How on earth has he saved that? Vapor Russell just shoving out Sam Corby as well. What a save that was from good old CRG Gamer. He just managed to hold onto that car, and Vapor Russell trying to hold that inside through this hairpin. Sam's going to have the much better exit coming out of this hairpin, but I don't think he's going to be able to get any sort of move done. But whoa, that looked very, very shifty indeed. I think Vapor Russell just moved over a little bit too much to the right, putting Sam on the grass, and then just ended up somehow managing to save that, managed to still break it in a straight line. Yeah, fair play to Sam. He's managed to keep that one on track, despite what had just happened with that. And even then, down the field, Rocco still can't seem to get this move done on KJ. In fact, Cortez, I think, is closer than anything.
Yeah, we're seeing the same incident, aren't we, really, just repeated at that same corner. It seems to be the only place, realistically, that opens up for an overtake, and obviously the guy at the front knows how difficult it is to get past, so he's, for the most point, they just seem to send it really hard to try and get past. It seems to be causing a lot of incidents, so hopefully people can keep it clean. Apart from a few incidents, I think it's been clean, a bit hard racing at times. Horner would love this, but for the most part, it's been. Oh, Brendan's out. That's probably going to be a stooge report for Sam Corby, I think. It's got to be, hasn't it? You got to think. It's clear who was at fault for that one.
We're seeing Brandon Glover just driving along the actual S section, so I think he might have had a bit of contact with Brandon. I don't know what had happened between him and Brendan, but Brandon and Brendan having a bit of contact. Very interesting. Now down to only 14 drivers. 5 drivers have retired in the pit lane, and 1 driver retiring actually out on track from a collision. But that's not exactly what we want to see, considering that everyone gets points in these races, especially with 5 guys retiring in the pit lane. It's not, as I said, it's not very good to see, to be honest with you. But I suppose it is the wet USA. So they're probably just saying
Rocco's
take the points.
Sorry, Rocco! Oh! And they both know. Does Rocco have damage from that? I don't know what KJ was trying. So Rocco went for a move on the inside, and it didn't quite work. But his front wheel was almost attached to KJ's back wheel, and KJ just kept turning left. It's like he didn't know Rocco's car was right next to him, and he carried on going across, and it put Rocco and himself in the wall. I can't tell if they got damaged or not.
It doesn't look as if
So
they are, 'cause I
gonna-
feel like Rocco would have been in if he did get himself any damage, but yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know, obviously.
They've lost the positions there to is it Cortez and Red Mats?
Yeah, to the both of them. And Rocco's the only one that's also in danger of potentially losing out to Foxy Red as well, because Foxy Red hasn't got any penalties to his name. And Rocco's got 6 seconds, although it's literally borderline between Foxy Red and Rocco.
Yeah, KJ mate, I'm going to enjoy the slander that you get when I'm in the party with Rocco tomorrow. It's going to be borderline XL Miami slander, so it's going to be fun to hear. But it's been we have to say thank you to KJ and Rocco in a way, because they've given us the tiny bit of action that we've actually got on this track. So
Yeah.
if this isn't ever an advert for wet racing in F1 games. Although we could see him with Sam Corby, he's very close to Vapor Russell, but can't quite get it done there. This is where we see a few dives into this corner coming down. If he can get a better exit, Vapor Russell's going to cover it. How good's the exit here then? He's got the wider line, but I don't think he's going to get it now.
Yeah,
And that's the story of this race.
Yeah, as I say, just has to stay behind the Vapor driver. Lars just gets the move done on Trinity for P10, and in fact Trinity just sort of keeping to the back of Lars. A little bit of contact between the pair of them, and I think Trinity going to try and go down the inside. Lars completely covers that off, just moves it under braking. Don't want to be doing that, as I said, otherwise collisions like that will happen. Old School's just going to be laughing at this point, because you can see that he's just going to be, yeah, he's just chilling. He doesn't need to get a penalty. And
He's had such a quiet race.
Yeah, he's literally just going to be jumping up for the Esports Worlds boys, just from sitting there, just chilling. That's all he needs to do.
I mean, it's just a showcase sometimes. Like, you don't always have to have the pace. Mark is slow as shit. Don't let it fool. Mark is terrible at this game. He's a pensioner. He's past it. He has one good race a season at Bahrain, and he thinks he's good. These people ahead of him, he's just sat behind them. He's going to gain a ton of position. Get ESW one of their best performances of the whole stream, to be honest. Just by kind of sitting there, it's kind of race smart. These people, they've been sending at every single corner. I think Lars has been involved in about half of the incidents, and Mark probably knows to stay away from certain people in this race now, so it wouldn't surprise me if he has a crack later on. He's beaten Brendan, which is his aim, which he made clear just before he went off comms, so since then, I think overall Mark, probably not the best he could have done, but he'll be happy with where he finishes, especially on penalties.
Give yourself a pat on the back, to be fair. You can do that. I don't see why that would be a problem. He needs to just hope that Foxy Red picks up a penalty as well. He's obviously going to jump up ahead of Trinity and Lars, but he needs to just hope that maybe Foxy Red picks up another penalty as well. So if he does, then that's at least another position he's going to jump up ahead of. And if he can, if these guys can try and close in slightly to the back of Rocco as well, then he has the opportunity of being able to jump up ahead of Rocco as well. Is about 7 seconds behind, if I'm not mistaken, or 8 seconds behind, as Lars trying to go down the inside of Foxy Red, gets that move done nice and cleanly. So yeah, Lars gets the move done on Foxy Red, up into 9th position now. Foxy Red just going to stick behind Lars. He knows he doesn't need to really battle him, just as long as he just follows him. He knows he's basically going to jump up ahead of him in penalties anyway.
I just want to point out, mate, you have given me two of the most boring races in this whole event. Spain was a stinker, you know, and this has been a stinker. Thank God we've got some people that clearly watch me race and have sent a few terrible dive bombs, because that's the only good entertainment that we've had. I've seen some people on this track. Today, the only stuff that we've seen are people get ploughed worse than I was by my babysitter when I was younger. Like, this has been dreadful. It's alright, he got locked up in the end. But we've got 4 laps to go.
That was not something I was expecting, I can't lie. At 6:30 in the morning.
It shaped me into the man I am today. So we're all good. We've got Shifters and Verstappen. Shifters has just slowly edged away, hasn't he? I think it's a good result for QBR though. They've been edging their way up. They've creeped their way up the field. They had not the best of starts they could have hoped for. and they've creeped their way back up. So it's not out the question of. I think first is almost a lock-in. You never know, we could crawl it back, but I think after this race now, it's an open battle for second in this league with about 4 different teams.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Yeah, there's so many different teams that can still win this. Obviously, at the moment, Relentless and the Absolute Units sort of running away from it a bit more, but that can still be anyone's game. Anyone that's still got like the last of first, and anyone that's also got well, just sort of got like their last of first or the double points, then they can just utilise them as much as they can, and yeah, that should be that'll bring them straight back into the mix as well.
Has Rocco made a mistake, or did he pick up damage from that? Because he's dropped for like 5 seconds. I think he picked up damage from that.
He might have done, you know.
He seems to be understeering a lot, and Rocco wouldn't drop. I don't think he dropped 6 seconds to someone.
Yeah, unless, as I said, you made a mistake, but I don't think he has. I think you're right. I think he might have gotten damage.
Because he went into the wall. It was a hefty hit.
Yeah, he looks like he's trying to turn as much as he can, and so yeah, I think you might be right. I think he must have picked up some sort of damage because Lars now only 1 second behind Rocco. So yeah, I think you're right. I don't think he. I think he has picked up some sort of damage. Vapor Russell trying really hard to just get that move back done on Sam Corby. Sam Corby managed to get the move done in the end. Down the DRS straight, and not only that, he's now going to try and go on the attack of QVR Verstappen as well, so keep on board with the Absolute Units driver. Of course, Verstappen not picking up a 3-second time penalty as of yet, and hopefully he doesn't for himself anyway. And yeah, it's looking like Shifters is going to take the win of this race at the moment. Obviously, we've still got 3 more laps left to go, sorry, and Shifters doing very, very well, 4 seconds up in front.
Oh, a great exit by Corby there. Verstappen was very, very shaky, and Corby needs to get past him now if he fancies himself any chance. He clearly fancies himself. He's gone on the inside. He's been really smooth in the traction this race, as Sam Corby have actually noticed, and he's got the move done. And now he has 2.5 laps to pull a 3-second gap. Verstappen is not the slowest driver in the world, but Sam Corby is making it look pretty easy right now, and he's gained a second in that first sector.
Yeah, so I think Sam, he's doing as much as he can to try and get this gap from Verstappen. Verstappen needs to try and make sure he can stay within it, and I think this is where he's now going to start to use more of his ERS just to keep within that 3 seconds of Sam Corby. But he needs to try and make sure he doesn't push it too hard, because if he does and ends up getting a penalty, then that's just basically all going to be for nothing. So Verstappen, I think, is going to be using a lot of his ERS on these straights now, just keeping the ERS as much as he can. Just to make sure that he can get a few more positions later on in, well, I'll say a few more positions just so at least he can get that jump on Sam Corby. If he gets overtaken by Vapor Russell though, then that could completely demolish his chances of getting a jump from that 3-second time penalty on Sam Corby. So he needs to make sure he can stay up ahead of him.
Sam, I mean, it's possibly doable. I mean, if Vapor Russell gets a good enough exit and gets like a nose in for one of the corners, Verstappen's going to have to change his line to fend him off. That could cost so much, especially in the wet. If you're not just sticking to the racing line and taking apexes as fast as you can lose a lot of time just defending someone. We saw that with Vapor Russell when he pitted early and got held up by Lars. So it isn't over. 1.5 seconds in a lap. We have 2 laps to go. There's a chance Sam Corby could keep second place here.
It certainly is. 1.5 seconds now, as you said, is what the gap is. He only overtook him last lap as well. So Sam Corby is a man on a mission. Rocco and Lars are going at it with each other though. Lars, of course, 9 seconds of penalties to his name.
Oh, Sam Corby's almost lost it. Sorry. He had to recover it there, and he's lost a lot of time.
So that's going to probably hinder his chances of being able to get that 3-second gap. He's still got the opportunity to do so, but it's going to be very, very tight to say the least. Lars going to dive up the inside of Rocco coming in towards turn 1. I think there's a little bit of a late lunge from the Dutchman, but Rocco gives him the space. Rocco's going to keep that inside line. Lars going to be able to give him the space for that. A little bit of contact between the pair of them, and I think that's Rocco. Oh no, a little bit of contact. Sorry, he's still going. He's going side by side through the S's in the wet. What?
Rocco's been in the wars. You can see this. He's definitely got damage, and people just like driving like he's not there. I'm so confused. Is
Yeah. That's...
I want to say like is a desync just to have like an explanation, but that's like 5 drivers that I've just kind of rammed into. I know he's got wing damage, so he'd be taking the corners like probably not as you'd expect. But it's like 5 different drivers that I've just like drove as if he's not there in the slightest. I'm confused. There's no desync on my end, so I don't even think that's the explanation. Which it'd be a lot nicer if it was.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I don't understand what's obviously going on with that, but yeah, a little bit of a battle going on for P6 here. Speed Red Matt and KJ. KJ just sort of keeping up to the back of the Speed driver. Obviously, Speed Red Matt has one less penalty in comparison to KJ. Now we're finally on to the final lap of this race for the wet racetrack. I don't know how we've managed to do this because this has just been a well, I'd say a bore fest, but there's definitely been a few highlights in this race. So not necessarily all bore fest, but it's definitely been a relatively quiet race to say the least. But Vapor Russell now 8 attempts behind Verstappen. Verstappen 2.8 seconds behind Sam Corby, as Lars has actually made the mistake coming out of the final corner and completely dropped it coming through it, and he's just retired on track. So don't understand why he's done that. The Barcarels would have at least gotten themselves, what, 8 points I think that would have been, just for where they finished in
Look at Mark right
13th
now.
or 14th.
Mark is. Look at this train ahead of him. Oh, he's got the 2 cars ahead of him there. Mark's currently on, just for chilling. I've not even noticed him all race, and he's currently on for P8, I think, at the moment.
Certainly is. KJ getting a move done on Speed Red Matt just before the beginning of the long straight of the DRS zone. Obviously, as I said, no DRS is going to be enabled. But interesting thing to note as well, Verstappen out of that 3-second range from Sam Corby. So Sam Corby has managed to do enough and is 3.5 seconds up ahead of the QVR driver. So Verstappen, the best he's now going to finish is only in P3, and Shifters I think is going to be able to take the win on track. I'm just going to ride on board with him because I think that battle between Red Matt and KJ is still going on. But here comes Shifters round the final corner. He causes first win for the 24-hour event in the wet. Shifters, give yourself a pat on the back. It must have been quite a boring race once again for him, but does manage to pick up the win. Sam Corby once again through the trenches into second position. Verstappen in third, Vapor Russell in fourth, Cortez will finish in fifth, KJ will finish in sixth but get jumped by Red Matt because of the penalties, so KJ will end up finishing in seventh. In fact, just absolutely smashes his car against the wall at the end, and so does Speed Red Matt. Foxy Red and TTG Trinity both going side by side, but I think there's nothing much that Trinity can do because of the penalties that they all have gotten. Old School will finish in 8th. I think that was Gustav in 9th. And then I didn't really get to see who else finished where, but it was only 13 finishes in the end of that race.
Yeah, and it's so depressing to say that that was still more entertaining than the Spain race that I did. So, in the end, it was a race of nutrition. Yeah, you throw that video game into the crowd, no one ever get it back, it sucks. Overall, a race of nutrition, it kind of shows just finishing the race will get you points. I think we saw Rocco went through the wars, had wing damage for the last third of the race, and he's still finishing P12, which is a good chunk of points. So the people, maybe a message to those retiring in the pits, just remember what you're racing for. Like, it's not a league race. It's for charity. The more people in, if someone joins and sees everyone racing, there's a chance that they'll donate. Who knows? So maybe stick around if you can for the races, even if it's not going your way. As we've seen, it's benefited some people. Rocco there's finishing 11th, so, and he didn't overtake anyone, which saved me. So thank you very much.
So Shifters does take the win in the end. Sam Corby in second with the fastest lap as well. Verstappen in third, Vapor Russell in fourth, Cortez fifth, Red Matt in sixth, KJ in seventh, Old School in eighth, Gustav in ninth, Foxy Red rounding out the top 10, Rocco in 11th, Trinity in 12th, Brandon Glover in 13th. Then our DNFers of Lars, Forza, Brendan, Arnold, Humalele or Chapalele on his double points. On his last whatever race. Dutch Missile, Kavudi, and TTG Noisy rounding out those final positions. Yeah, I think that's about all she wrote. I think that's me done for comms as well. I don't know, I might see if I can jump in, or might... In fact, Are you around at 11:45 a.m.? Do you reckon?
Mate, I'm here for the whole time, mate. I'm here for the full shebang.
Because a certain Matthias couldn't end up doing comms for the final race. So I need a spot to fill with that.
Well, I must say I'm absolutely shocked that he's bailed. Yes, I'll do it.
Okay.
You lucky buggers.
See, I'm not keeping you on a leash, man. I've got.
Okay,
I've
well, I
met
think
your
you
friend.
tested out this one, man. I think we're very lucky that Rocco didn't get many overtakes. So it didn't go as bad as you probably thought it would. And you've learned a little bit about my past as well, so we're all good.
Fair enough, fair enough. I suppose it works both ways. But right, yeah. So you've heard it here first. Mr. Ariel Nolan is going to be with James Head for that final race for
With
comms.
James Head.
With James Head,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk to him about massages.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Well, that's me done for comms for now. I've just got a race in Canada, and then I'll just be taking control of the streams and the rest of the
You're
event
racing
as well.
Canada
I'm racing Canada.
at 6:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Do you know what? This game has been out for how long? I've not done a lap of Canada yet. I don't think anyone wants to touch that track. Enjoy your 12 seconds of penalties.
Thanks, man.
And I hope you've learned your lesson to never put rain in the 24-hour event again.
Yeah. I hope we can get that. Well, hopefully we can make sure that's as clean as possible.
You can't speak, mate. Go to bed.
I need to. I think so. I think I need to.
Get Rocco in and go to bed.
Nah, I can do this. I can man it. I can man it. Right. Anyway,
Just
I
like you
think.
have for D3.
Oh,
Anyway.
okay. On that note, I'm going to be cutting that over to the the intro screen. So enjoy your elevator music, and the next voices you should be hearing will be Jess and I think is it Jess and Old School? I'll take a look, but I know Jess will be definitely doing it. So yeah, that's all from myself, and I'll more than likely be back at the very end of the stream just to talk about it, or even in between the streams for any more donations that do pop up. So thank you everyone, and we'll catch you in a bit.